All right, so y'all, this is a homework problem. This is number 22 out of the review from the final. And so let's see if we can figure out the problem here. It says, construct the indicated confidence interval for the population mean mu using the t-distribution. Okay, assume that the population is normally distributed. Okay, so just to give you kind of a rundown of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to find our confidence interval for the population mean mu. The way we're going to do this, we're going to have our x bar and we're going to be subtracting an error, and we're going to have our x bar and we're going to be adding an error, okay? So this is what my confidence interval is going to look like. All we're saying is that our population mean is going to be between these two values. So we know that our x bar, or our sample mean, is 14.2. There's going to be, that's what we're looking at. But we're saying that the population should be between these two numbers, between that 14.2 minus a little bit and that 14.2 plus a little bit. So let me show you how I'm going to go about doing this problem. First thing is right here. This is going to tell me, I just took a screenshot, y'all, from my notes from 6.2. But this formula right here is going to tell me how I'm going to find that error. So a couple things we're going to do. We're first going to figure out, what is that TC? How do I find that TC number, okay? So the other thing I did, I took a screenshot of my t-distribution. This was in that document that I shared with you guys that had the statistical tables. So we're looking at confidence intervals. So I'm looking at that part right there. And I'm going to scroll back to my particular problem. Let's see, we're looking at a 90% confidence interval. And the other thing is that our sample, our n, there were 6 values in there, okay? I need to know those two things. I need to know my confidence interval and I need to know my sample size. So my confidence interval is 90%, so I'm going to use this column here. And then since our n was, I think it was 6 already, yeah, it was 6. Since my n was 6, remember what that means? That my degrees freedom is 1 less. My degrees freedom is 5. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at 5, I'm looking at my confidence interval. So the value of TC that I'm going to be using is at 2.015. Okay, so come back over here. My error is going to be 2.015. Now we have a value of S and we have a value of N. So remember, my S is my sample standard deviation. In this case, it was 2. And our N was 6. So I'm going to put a 2 right here, square root of 6, and I'm going to figure out what this error is. So let me grab my calculator real quick. Where is it? Here we go. Let me clear all this stuff. So we had 2.015 times, times 2 over the square root of 6. Okay, times 2 divided by the square root of 6, okay? And I'm coming up with 1.645. So I'm going to say my is 1.645. Okay, now that I found my error, what I can do is I can come back over here. We got error is 1.645. Okay, now we can start filling in the blanks. What else did we know? Oh, we knew our x bar was 14.2. So look what I'm going to do right here, y'all. 14.2 minus my error, which was 1.645. My population is going to be between that and 14.2 plus 1.645. So point right there. Okay, so let's do this step on our calculator. So we'll come back here, 14.1 minus, or let me put minus first, minus 1.645. So that number is 12.455. So 12.455. And then the other one where we have to add it, oh, you know what? I think it was 14.2. Yeah, it's 14.2, and I typed in 14.1, so let me fix that, y'all. Sorry, that's my bad. 14.2 minus 1.645. Okay, 12.55. So, yeah, I got to be real careful because sometimes something as minor as that is going to throw me off, but that's okay. We caught it. And let's see. Now, the next one we're going to add. So, 14.2 plus 1.645. And I'm coming up with 15.845. So 15.845, okay? And so this is how I can do it. This is how I'm doing it manually, okay? So you can see, I mean, I did use my calculator a little bit, but pretty much I was able to do everything using, oh, come on, here we go. using that formula and my chart. Now, if you prefer doing this on the calculator, y'all, we can do the exact same thing on the calculator. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. I'm going to come back to my calculator. Let me clear everything out. We're going to go to Stat. We're going to go to Tests. And we're going to select number 8. This is a one sample T confidence interval. So remember, my X bar was a 14.2. I believe our S was, let me go back and double check. My S was 2 and my N was 6. So my standard deviation was 2, my N was 6, and we were doing this on a 90% confidence interval. So I'm doing that. And then if you notice, my numbers over here where it has lower and upper really haven't changed yet. But once I move this over, they're going to change. And if you notice, look what I'm coming up with. 12.55 and 15.85 if I were to go to 2 decimal places. So, hey, same numbers that I got here, right? So look, let me even do it this way so you can see what I'm looking at. I'll take a screenshot right there, over here. And since I've already used that, I'm going to... let me see what lets me do this. Yeah. Let's delete this picture for now. Let me clean up all this funky business. And here we go. Let's choose our photo. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to do this in green because I think you guys can see it if I do this in green. So look, 12 point, and I'm going to go to 1 decimal place, y'all, because that's what my lab is asking me to do. So if I go to 1 decimal place, 12.6. and 15.8. Again, same numbers that I have here. If I go to 1 decimal place, 12.6 and 15.8. So you have 2 options on how you can do this. Do you want to do it manually? That's how I showed you the first time. Do you want to do it using the calculator? That's how I showed you this time. Obviously, the calculator, guys, is a lot quicker. The main reason why I show you like this is just so you get an idea of how to do the problem. Anyway, let's double check our answers to make sure I'm not poking you all in the eyes here. Oh, where did we go? Here we go. So let me enter these numbers in. So we got 12.6. And the other one was like 15.8, I believe. That's what they were. 12.6, 15.8, looks like it. And let's go chickadee check. Hey, we got it, okay? So anyway, if y'all got any questions, let me know.